Chugga, 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 chugga. Ah. Oh, good. Horn works. That's good. We are in the One Drop Machine Shop.
We are. Yes. This is my project car because, you know, men of a certain age need convertibles, preferably red.
And you just keep it in the machine shop?
I keep it in the machine shop because I don't have a garage in my house.
So speaking of projects,
yes,
I took a train up here from San Francisco. Y'all picked me up at the train station today, and ever since then, you've been working on a CAD file for this yo-yo, which is called the Weekender.
The Weekender, right?
Can you tell us about the process so far?
Well, we did a Skype call a week or so ago, and kind of loosely discussed some ideas. So I had some pencil sketches down, but I didn't put too much thought into it because I didn't want to do it in a vacuum, you know.
That's cool. It's fun doing this collaboratively because designing in a vacuum sucks.
It does. It's so boring.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Because So what's going to happen next? We've got a computer file.
Yeah, we've got a drawing, a computer. I just got the CAD.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go in there now and do the CAM part, which is turning a beautiful drawing into a bunch of boring numbers, and then putting it into the machine where we can turn it back into beautiful metal. It's the least exciting part for everybody except me.
And then afterwards, it's going to generate a little punch card. That you
a little
walk
punch,
over here, you crank it in. And
that's right. I'm going to fax it over to the machine.
Each year, I do this thing called the 24-hour comic book day, which is a personal artistic challenge where you try to create a 24-page comic in 24 consecutive hours. So
I mean, we'll make a brand new yo-yo in less than 2 days.
Yeah, and this is the 48-hour yo-yo challenge.
I like it.
Which you were saying earlier, you are 100% down to do each year.
Every time. Yep. You tell me when, I'll be there.
Once a month, the 48-hour yo-yo challenge. So let's talk about this yo-yo. It's called the Weekender.
It is the Weekender, yep.
You know, because it's designed in a weekend.
Yes.
And it sort of brings up that idea of like the VW Weekender, the glamping vehicle.
The Weekender was a van that was between like the basic model and the model that had pop top, sink, stove, fridge, 3 beds, plaid interior, curtains all the way around, like the full-on, you know, going out west, Westphalia. In between, there was like the semi-camper, just for going out on the weekend. So, and my family had owned those during my entire childhood. So, the Weekender, I was sold. Yeah, I was sold on the name.
This yo-yo needs a pop top.
A pop top.
A Doc pop top.
Could be I mean, is there something in the packaging you can do with like a little pop top?
Really?
That would be good.
So what's next? You're crunching the numbers, and then we're going to turn it. We're going to make, I don't know, like 4 or 5 kind of variations, but they're all going to be pretty similar.
Yeah.
And then you were saying we can't touch it too harshly until it's been anodized.
Right. Because anodizing really does finish a yo-yo. We've had, you know, so many times we make a nice looking prototype, put it on the machine, take it off, put it together, it's smooth, but it just plays sluggish. It doesn't spin for as long as it should. It just doesn't feel finished because it's raw aluminum. Send it off to anodizing, get it back in, it's a completely different yo-yo. In fact, we have a policy with, you know, making signature yo-yos for our team that, you know, they come in, we sit down, we design the yo-yo, they have all the input and artistic direction. Even so, they can't throw it until after it comes back from anodizing because those first impressions are so important. And an unanodized yo-yo, just not the same thing as a finished one.
So for this project though, because it is a 48-hour project,
on the weekend
we're gonna Scotch
Brite. Yeah. So we'll give it. I mean, 10 years ago, everyone was into satining their yo-yos. So we'll give it a good satin job, and maybe we can tumble it while we have lunch or something. And it'll give us an approximation, but it's still not the same thing. I mean, anodizing is almost like a layer of glass on top of yo-yo. Aluminum oxide is very hard, very strong, very abrasion resistant, and it really does change how a yo-yo interacts with the string.
Let's talk about the design. This is a pretty different yo-yo than most yo-yos y'all make.
Sure. Yeah, very, very light compared to anything else we make.
That's probably the biggest difference, right?
That's the biggie. We would call a 64-gram yo-yo light, and this one's 46.
Yeah, during the Skype call, I was like, let's do 45.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the eye roll came through or not.
No, I was actually expecting a lot more pushback. I was like,
a light yo-yo.
I was like, all right, I want to do a responsive yo-yo with an A bearing. I want it to be 45 grams and just like paper thin walls. And you guys were like, just
writing
hella
that
mellow
down.
about it.
Yeah, no, but we've done only a few A-bearing yo-yos for other people, not for ourselves. So that was one challenge. We don't have our own response pad to use. You know, we only have. We're gonna, for this we're going to use Corco's pads because they make an A-bearing yo-yo. Looks great. The pads they feel great. We may make our own pad someday.
Yeah.
But for this, for the tight time frame, you know, Corco they came through.
So there's like a resurgence that you guys are noticing in kind of responsive, or at least a lot of people asking for A bearings for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason. I think it's just because, the play characteristics are different, but also I think people just really like variety. I mean, how many, V-shaped, C-sized bearing yo-yos, can you play and really feel a difference between them? I mean, obviously there's a huge difference, but when you go to a different size bearing, when you go to a wild weight variation, I think people just liked variety.
Yeah, I was going for the A bearing because I wanted to maximize the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So like a C bearing is going to take up more of that space.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can leave the wall the same size and just reduce the
bearing size. Yeah.
And then the lightweight was sort of hoping that a lightweight yo-yo would spin plenty long, but be a little more consistent for response.
Sure. Yeah, it's also accelerating and decelerating a very light yo-yo is easier. So when it comes time to a responsive yo-yo, you want to be able to bring it back to your hand. A yo-yo with a lot of spin power, with a lot of stability, with a lot of rim weight, it's not it's not as likely to come back as a responsive yo-yo.
A radical experiment. I'm super excited to see what it's like unanodized and totally judge it harshly on that.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to that.
God, I wish we could do our own anodizing here. That would be something.
I almost thought about like a car battery and some ink and a bucket.
I hear you can do it. I mean, even if it was clear ano, that'd be nice.
Well, dude, I'm stoked. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Should we go for a drive?
Mm.
Perfect.